right. First off, with regards to becoming a father this summer, I'd like to thank a lot of people. You find out about a lot of former players, current players that reach out to you when something like that happens. So it kind of makes you appreciate what we do and the relationships that you build over time. A lot of my old players have hit me up, hit my wife up. So the coaching staff here, the university here. So it's been a great experience. As far as camp goes, very excited to get going with this group. A lot of experience coming back. A great opportunity for us to keep this journey going that we started with a lot of these same guys 4 years ago, and particularly the fourth-year players. Hopefully, cap it off with a very successful season. Look forward to training camp. The opportunity to go against the offensive players that we have, I think, is a huge benefit for us. We're very skilled group that we get a chance to compete against every day, make us better, and really just look forward to training camp and getting ready to play against Ball State.
Number one, are you getting any sleep? And number two, describe your confidence level in the guys and within the scheme now compared to this point last season.
Little bit of sleep. With this group in particular, a lot of the returning players, half the group, it's their third and or fourth year in the system. A few of our key players, it's their second year in the system. It's kind of that type of group. A lot of the JC or transfer guys we got last year, now in their second year, and then, of course, our first and second class that make up a core of our group. So a lot of confidence in their ability to know what we're asking them to do, for us to be able to keep expanding on what we do, and go out and execute at a high level without having to think too much. Our deal is we want to be complex to the other team. We don't want to be complex to ourselves. So we want to be a team that's tough to prepare for, but we want to play fast and communicate well and not have too much thinking going on when the ball snapped. Absolutely. I think, Robert's been a guy who's been going on his fourth year. We have a lot of fun competing against each other, so the more that happens, the better everybody is. I think we have some top-level players on both sides of the ball that when they go against each other, it's really fun to watch. And it's an opportunity for both sides to make each other better. We look forward to that. I know they look forward to that. I think part of our job is to help get the offense ready to play. And vice versa. So it's certainly part of our responsibility to give them great looks, particularly with a new quarterback, to give that guy a lot of different looks that we can to help prepare them to be able to play. But it's certainly always fun to have that competition against your own offense.
Caleb and Lonzo, are they kind of a new Joe Key in terms of getting guys lined up and the emotional and leaders of the 11?
I think I really have a lot of confidence in a lot of our inside linebackers. I think you could throw Trey Payne, Chase Middleton into that group, Ed Kearney, Charlie Patrick as a young player, not quite to that level yet. But those guys drive the ship for us up front. And then also to have we have two fifth-year seniors at safety that I feel very confident in their ability to communicate. So being strong and old and veteran up the middle, those are the guys that normally are traffic control cops and get people lined up. So feel good about all those guys. But back to your guys, those guys, particularly their personalities, they're those type of guys that we want to be in charge.
And last question for me. How much, if at all, did finding a consistent quarterback pairing that you could trust last year with Jerome and Chapin affect the improvement in the run defense? Because you have to change it.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, the great defenses at any level, you have guys that can cover, or you have to do other things to account for that. So you either have to double team a wide receiver. Well, now that might be one less guy in the box. Now, with the guys that we have, we feel very confident in their ability. They grew together last year. I felt like our transformation, particularly as a defense, was tied a lot to those guys growing up, and feel very, very good about where they're at now, and that we'll continue to be able to do some things to take advantage of their skill set with the other 9 guys. Well, I wish if you knew the answer, then you would have had it happen a lot quicker, you know. But it's just guys sticking to it, being consistent, figuring out how to prepare, figuring out how to work, figuring out how to practice, figuring out that more games are lost than are won, and finding ways to not lose games. When you give up big plays, when you have miscommunication, when you miss tackles, those things cause you to lose games. So I think we began to cut out some of those problems. And when you do that, you give yourself a chance. I feel like this group has proven over a, you know, if you look at a 6-7 game stretch, second half of the season, that we can be a very, very top flight group. Now we need to start faster. We need to be more consistent and hopefully be able to play that way over the course of an entire season.
Why do you think each will have the best defense in the summer?
We'll find out at the end of the season when the stats come out.
What would you say is the most stacked position on defense, and which one, really gets your juices flowing watching the practice out here?
You know, I think we have some. I really believe that we have some frontline, high caliber players at each level. To me, any great defense, it starts up front, and those guys sometimes might not get the attention that some of the other positions get, but feel very good having a lot of fourth-year players up front that have taken a beating. You kind of grow up with them, but feel very good about that group and them setting the tone for everybody that plays behind them.
And then how do you convince somebody who may have been a great pass rusher in high school to either be the setup guy or to say, hey, maybe your stats aren't going to be as high as there, but you're the part that starts the whole ball rolling?
Yeah, I mean it's certainly building a team before self mentality. I know that's our program. It's kind of what we base everything off of, and it's guys understanding that it's about the final result for the whole group and not just about the individual deals. I do think that when coaches vote on all conference teams, they know who the best players are, sometimes regardless of the stats. I think people in this league know that Shawanye Lawrence is a really good D lineman because he's been voted that, even though sometimes his stats might not compare to a couple other guys that didn't get the recognition. I feel good about those guys, and they know their role, and then it's our job to find ways to cut them loose when the time is right as well.
And then last one for me. Do you feel like Shawanye was the slam dunk champion over the summer?
Absolutely. Did you see what he did to that rim? Yeah. That was very impressive. The Twitter slam dunk contest. They're not allowed to dunk anymore until late December. So yeah. So.
Just have one more question. The SEC UIC are going to say, especially next year, say they're not done. They'll say it's a line in a scrimmage league. Do you feel the same as well for most leagues, or is it true for the Sun Belt as it is for the SEC?
I do think I think it's when you really look at it, a lot of people call the Sun Belt a very high-skilled league, that it's not as good up front. However, I think the teams that win the league are the best groups up front. So I definitely think that it's to win the league, you got to be great on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And the teams that are able to run the ball, have those rushing numbers, are able to stop the run, play complementary football. Those are the teams. When I look back at the previous 4 and 5 conference champions, there's a formula of the teams that stop the run, are able to run the ball, take the ball away at a high level, and limit people from scoring points. Those are the teams that are at the top of the standings. So that's what hopefully we'll be able to do this fall.
So the past offseason, as a team and as a unit, we've really been focusing on, pushing ourselves to that next level. At the end of the season, we started getting guys on the same page, and more guys started doing that. But this offseason, we've really been focusing on really just trying to hit that max potential, because everybody has that, but it's rarely do you get to that level. So I feel like that's really one of the biggest things we've been doing this offseason. And another thing is finishing, whether it's running through the line on our sprints, finishing a workout, whatever that may be, film even, we're trying to finish every single thing that we do. Overall, as a team, it's crazy. One of the biggest things that I've noticed is our cohesiveness. That was one of the biggest things that led to some late success at the end of the season was, guys started clicking. But this season, we started that early, and I feel like that's really going to help us be successful early. An example, almost 2 weeks ago, we went to what's the name? Stone Mountain. We went to Stone Mountain as a team, and we all went up there, did like a little short hike. Had some fun out there, and just to see guys out there, some may be like their thing. Some people that's not their thing, but everybody was there having a good time together. So it's just things like that are like so small, seem so minute, but at the end of the day, those are really the things that bring guys together and help guys really become a real team. Oh yeah, I feel phenomenal. I've honestly, my focus has been to do what I've never done so that I can get where I've never been. And I pulled out everything, every type of workout that I can possibly do to get better, become a better player, a better leader. That's another big thing is being a different type of leader. I've always been more of like a show by action type of guy, where now I kind of had to step up and be more vocal so that other guys can get on board and we can have a successful team as well. Yeah, that's interesting. I had a pretty good game, my first game here at Georgia State. Yeah, thank you. But immediately after that game, if anybody's seen the interview after that game, I was happy with the turnovers and all that good stuff. But there's always something that you can improve on, and so that was my biggest thing was to improve on the missed tackles that I had that game. I had 2 missed tackles that game. So you think about 5 takeaways, but I'm thinking about 2 missed tackles. So it seems like it's not a big deal, but it's those small things that I feel really make people great. And so really that's my goal. But when you have a game like that, every other game seems small. Like second game, they're like, oh, what happened? Third game, oh, what happened? I'm like, I'm not going to have 5 takeaways every game, but, I'm going to definitely try, of course. And definitely, my plan is to get better and better. So if 6 takeaways means I'm getting better, then, that's what I'm going to try to do. More consistent. Consistency. And one of the biggest things also is I touched the ball 5 times that game, and I didn't score once. So that's a problem. So that's one of the things I've been working on this offseason. So if I touch the ball, we're going to the house. Oh, yeah. We got Amir Scaife. He's probably been here the longest. As you guys know, he has a perfect size, perfect body. He's a great guy, great character. It's one of my good friends. He's very smart, but he's still trying to develop as a player. Then you have Connor Manning. He came in from Utah, and he's one of those guys that's he's very smart. He's very smart as a quarterback. He has all the right things upstairs. It's just a matter of putting everything together, getting comfortable within the system, and he's gonna be able to make plays, big plays for us. And then Aaron is, as you guys know, a real mobile guy. Also very smart, also a great guy, as well as Connor. But once again, he's another one of the guys that has to get comfortable with the system and get comfortable. So, I mean, honestly, all 3 guys, in my opinion, have a shot to win us games. And, I haven't counted anybody out. I don't think anybody else should, honestly.
Playing in the field, do you enjoy coverage more or being that kind of eye in the sky, kind of free range?
I like to mix it up a little bit. I really like to come downhill. Last season, I played a lot more strong safety, backside, and the boundary. But, I like to be free sometimes. Sometimes I like to be in coverage. It honestly just depends on where the ball is at. If the ball is near me, that's where I like to be. But, being that eye in the sky is cool because you kind of have a little more freedom to move around as you do and really orchestrate the defense as opposed to being in a coverage where you kind of you have your own keys that you have to focus on. So.
What was the key to the improvement in the run defense last season
I would say our D line. Our D line was crucial to our success in the run game. A lot of those guys don't get enough credit for what they do. They really put their bodies on the lines, and they really put their stats on the lines as well. Because a lot of times they don't get a whole bunch of stats. You're not gonna have a D lineman with 15 tackles, but they're the ones that are setting it up for other players. Getting into a gap and making him go the other way. That's their job, and so that's what they do very successfully. So. Our D line was a big deal. Our linebackers, we have the best linebacker. We have the best defense in the conference. I'm not afraid to say that at all to anybody. But just overall, I think it was just the power of the unit. It wasn't just one guy. It wasn't just one position. Every single position, every single unit and player was just in sync later on in the season, and we're gonna start out like that. First one comes to mind is Tyrann Mathieu. That man's he's a oh yeah, he got paid. He got paid all right. No question. That's motivation. But he's one of those guys that's just always around the ball, and when he's around it, he's trying to get it. So that's one of the things I focus on. I watch tons of film, tons of film. So Tyrann Mathieu is one of those guys. Cam Chancellor is one of those guys that comes down, likes to hit. I even watch corners, Darrell Revis, Patrick Peterson. There's tons of Ed Reed, watching old Ed Reed film, Brian Dawkins, all that good stuff. But really just trying to take everything that you can find from them. Certain guys do certain things well. So trying to take all the good stuff and the negative stuff and just learn from it and put it into my own game. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I don't really look at myself as like a face of the team, more so as a leader of the team. A lot of guys look up to me, and that comes with a great deal of respect. And that's really the biggest thing is getting respect from my teammates. That means so much more than being a face of any team. But going to New Orleans, that was an amazing experience. Never been to New Orleans, never seen the Superdome or anything like that. So that was really interesting, and getting a chance to see these guys that we play, within our conference was interesting as well, because it's like I play against you, and I remember you, and I hit you, but now we're cool, we're shaking hands and stuff like that. So it's interesting to kind of switch the perspective a little bit and do something a little different. Penny Hart. That dude he's tough to cover. I don't think there's anybody in our conference that can cover him. Of course, somebody's gonna tell you that, but regardless, he's so quick, so fast, and he's becoming more and more developed. He's young, and a lot of people forget he's now a sophomore, but he's so hard to cover, and as a safety. With my height, my long legs, it's really hard to get low and move as quick as he does. So that's really the hardest thing, and we just keep trying to work and teach each other things, because there's plenty of things that I've taught him that he can use to go against other guys that he's even used on me. Spring camp, he used the move on me. I was like, dude, I taught you that. How you gonna use it on me? And he got me with it. So it's interesting. We both learn from each other. But there's plenty more guys. Todd Boyd is another guy his routes are just super clean, super crisp, and he doesn't drop too many balls. So it's plenty of guys like that. And really our offensive, our receiver coach, he's really the heart behind that whole situation is why these guys can run routes so well and they don't drop too many balls. So you got to give credit where it's due, and our whole unit is tough. Definitely. About midway through the season is when I really got comfortable with our whole scheme and everything. That's when I got really comfortable and was able to lock in on what I had to do, but also, coordinate and orchestrate other guys and help other guys, do their job as well. So it takes a little bit of time to be able to do that and get comfortable doing that because, you have to know what you have to do and you have to do what you have to do before you can help someone else. So, it definitely took a little bit. I guess mid-season's not too bad, but that's right around the time when it started going like that.
Our offseason was really great, especially as D linemen. We really came together and got all our work done this offseason, and I believe it's really going to show during the season.
Has it been, just talk about the process, you've had three different position coaches in 3 years. How is Rick Leonard different than the previous two, and what do you try to learn each that you have put into your game?
Coach Rick is very honest with us if we're messing around in practice or just not doing our assignments correctly. He'll let us know right then and there. So coming from his standpoint, it's been, what would I say, really eye-opening for me.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way, in a good way.
The defense returns 9 starters, a lot of seniors. Do you feel pressure going into this year to try to maintain the improvement that you showed last year, or what are you focused on?
I don't think so much pressure. I just want all of our guys to be on the same page as we go into this season. I know we can get it done. We got the scheme, we got the talent. I really believe it's just going to be on our guys to show that want, so we can get that Sun Belt championship.
What are your personal goals for the season?
Well, definitely I want to be a first team. I got preseason second team, so that's something to work towards. But I just want to win that Sun Belt championship.
The defense was one of the most improved in the entire country, and I think, if I remember correctly, that they improved stopping the run by 1,300 yards from the year before. Can you just talk about the changes that were made from 1 year, or what you guys did to improve defensive stop the run that well, such as that 1 year bring 1 year success?
Well, it started in practice. We really improved our practice habits, just taking the field with the right mindset that we're going to win the day, win the down. And it really showed come game time because we were ready by then.
When you think about that, 1,300 yards less rushing compared to like the previous year was also not very good. Do you get a little aggravated that you didn't start doing some of these things, play defense like the previous 2 years as last year, that you waited a while or just didn't know?
I definitely say it's a little bit aggravating, but more so it's a blessing that it came when it did, because now we see exactly how to take the field, how we practice, and those things will translate into the game. So better late than never.
What qualities do you look for in a leader, and who would you point to on the team that exhibits those qualities?
I would definitely say a guy who not only is vocal, but can also go out there and show that he's doing it the right way, so guys can see that he's just not all talk. And one of the guys that definitely exhibits that is Robert Davis. I seen that when we were doing our 7-on-7. None of the coaches were there, and he was just getting in guys about being there on time. And, to have a guy who's basically my age preaching that message to the rest of the guys, it really shows how far we've come.
What can you tell us about the offensive line this year, given that you've went against some more guys?
They're grit, man. They are a feisty bunch. You can't say one word to them without another guy saying something to you. So they all really band together this year. Yep, my first step and definitely my hand placement and quickness. That all affects how fast I can get my hands from the ground to that guy, and me being able to drive him back. So those are 2 things I really worked on. Oh, we got great chemistry. Not just the front three, but all the guys that fall behind the starters. We all practice the right way. We all do things the right way. We're a feisty bunch as well. So when we get out on that field, it's basically no drop off.
Sean, you're one of the few guys that as soon as you walked on campus, because of your size and strength and who you were, Trent put you in the lineup right away. I'm sure there's a few things that, looking back, that you would like to change. Gosh, if I had only known then what I know now, are there any specific examples that you have of things that you improved or comfort levels that you achieved in your own mind's eye going against as many players as you have from the past couple of years?
I would say just the trust I have in the scheme and the technique is really developed over the years, and it really just started to click come those last 4 games. I just really seen the difference, and like I said, it all started in practice. So when I got a hang of that and just got my technique down, it really started to show.
What in particular? You mentioned hand placement earlier. Is there a combination of something that just started working right, or developing a second move, or some other things that you could kind of pinpoint that helped your game?
Last year, I came in on our heavy days are Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so I would come in an hour early and watch a lot more film, so I could really just diagnose the play and see the formations that other offenses lined up in, and I believe that helped as well.